Two of the most anticipated phones of 2026 are both foldable, both expensive, both trying to convince you they are worth it. But when you actually sit down and compare what Samsung and Apple are each building, you start to realize these two companies have completely opposite ideas about what a foldable phone should even be. And one of those ideas makes a lot more sense than the other. Let's get into it. First, Samsung. The Galaxy Z Fold Wide is launching July 22nd, 2026 at Samsung's Unpacked event in London, and the name tells you everything: wide. Samsung looked at the Z Fold 7, which had a fairly tall and narrow outer screen that nobody loved using, and said, what if we just made the whole thing wider? The result is a phone with a 4:3 inner display ratio when unfolded, which is shorter and noticeably wider than any Galaxy Fold before it. Think less tall book, more small tablet, and honestly, for multitasking and watching anything, that shape makes a lot more sense. Inside, Samsung is running the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip, the same processor going into the Galaxy S26 Ultra. The battery is 4,800 mAh. The cameras are dual 50-megapixel sensors for the wide and ultra-wide. Now here's the part that raised some eyebrows. No telephoto. On a Samsung flagship foldable, no zoom camera. Samsung is reportedly cutting it to keep the device thinner and lighter, coming in at around 200 grams, which is a fine trade-off until you remember this phone is going to cost well over $1,000 and zoom is kind of expected at that price. But Samsung has clearly made a decision: thinner and wider over feature complete. And to be fair, the phone ships with Android 17 and One UI 9, which is a genuinely exciting software update. It also launches 2 full months before the iPhone Ultra, which in the foldable market means a lot. Now Apple. The iPhone Ultra is coming in September 2026, and where Samsung went wide, Apple went obsessive. Not in features, not in specs on a sheet, in engineering. The internal layout of the Ultra was reportedly rebuilt from scratch to be the most modular, most repairable foldable ever made. No cables running across the hinge. No components crammed in wherever they fit. Every single part placed with intention. Apple even moved the volume buttons to the top edge of the phone. Not for looks, but because routing cables upward keeps them completely away from the fold mechanism. That is the level of detail Apple apparently spent years on, while Samsung was busy figuring out aspect ratios. The display on the Ultra opens to 7.8 inches, larger than the Fold Wide's 7.6, with a 5.3-inch outer screen. The crease is reportedly nearly invisible, something no foldable has actually achieved before, including every Galaxy Fold Samsung has shipped. Inside is the A20 Pro chip, Apple's first 2nm processor paired with a 5,500 mAh battery, the largest Apple has ever put in any iPhone. On paper, the Ultra should outlast the Fold Wide by a meaningful margin on a single charge. But here is where Apple hands Samsung a gift. The iPhone Ultra is launching with no telephoto camera either, dual 48-megapixel cameras only. Same situation as the Fold Wide, except the Ultra costs $2,000. The Fold Wide is expected to land somewhere around $1,300 to $1,400. Both phones are missing zoom. One of them costs significantly more for that privilege. Also gone on the Ultra, Face ID replaced by Touch ID in the power button because the phone is reportedly too thin to fit the hardware. No MagSafe on the back, and only 2 color options: silver and indigo, because production is already complicated enough without adding more variants. So here is how this actually breaks down. If you want a foldable phone that is available sooner, costs less, comes in more configurations, and runs the most open software ecosystem on the planet, Samsung is making a genuinely strong case with the Fold Wide. The wider display is a real improvement over previous Fold designs. The Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is a monster chip, and launching in July means Samsung gets 2 full months of foldable market ownership before Apple shows up. But if you want the phone that is built like nothing else in the foldable space, the one where every component was placed deliberately, where the hinge is engineered to a standard no competitor demands of themselves, where the display crease is reportedly almost gone, the iPhone Ultra is doing things the Fold Wide simply is not. It costs more, it launches later, it has fewer features on paper, and it is still probably the more interesting piece of engineering. The honest truth is this: Samsung is building a better foldable for more people. Apple is building a more ambitious foldable for fewer people. Neither of those is wrong. They are just very different answers to the same question. So which camp are you in? The practical choice or the obsessive one? Let us know in the comments below. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.